Hey guys, D-Pad Danny back again. It's great to see you. I haven't done a pickups video in a while, so I figured it was due. And I just went to Southern Fried Gaming Expo in Atlanta, Georgia a couple weeks back. I've been meaning to do this video. I keep forgetting, or I, get wrapped up in other stuff. There's only so many hours in the day, so it's a little bit late, but let's, I thought I would talk about some of the pickups I got at, again, the Southern Fried Gaming Expo. Starting with some NES stuff, NES is the main collection. I got Dragon's Lair. This is not at all like the arcade one that's ported to everything else. No, this is its own thing, and it's pretty difficult. It's pretty difficult. Not a fantastic game. I also picked up, and I'm not sure how you would pronounce it. It's either Kicks or Quicks, but I picked that one up. This is one that my wife likes, so I picked this one up because I had the Game Boy version, but it runs kind of slow and choppy. But this one runs pretty good. Basically, you have a grid and you have things bouncing around, and you have a little reticle that you kind of move, and you gotta block off sections of the screen before the things floating around hit you or the line that you're making, and you need to close off a certain percentage of the screen. It's pretty cool. This one has been rehashed a lot of times. A lot of times online you'll see them with like anime chicks in the background or something like that, where you're unlocking more of the picture. Gets a little bit more added incentive. We got Terminator 2 Judgment Day for the NES. This is a platformer. It's mediocre. It's made by LJN. I hadn't put too much time into this one, but I don't know. It doesn't seem terrible, but it doesn't seem very good either. Next we got Rollerblade Racer. Rollerblade Racer. Look at that hot pink cover there. Isn't that beautiful? So this one is like, it's a rollerblading game, but it feels like a mix between 720, the skateboarding game that has the weird isometric view, a mix between that and Paperboy, but you can travel on more of the screen other than just like this little corner. It's weird, but it's not all that difficult. I think I was almost close to beating it when I was testing it out for the first time, so Rollerblade Racer. Not one you see all the time. Next one is Nightshade. So this is an interesting one. It plays like a point and click, but you also solve puzzles, and well, I guess that is what point and clicks are. Yeah, it's like a point and click. But yeah, you play this vigilante justice guy, I guess, and you have lots of enemies, and crooked cops want to beat you up, and I don't remember what the main storyline of the game is, but it's really unique. It's really unique as far as the gameplay goes, and I do want to delve more into this one at some point. Like I said, Nightshade for the NES by Ultra. All right, next up is a very weathered copy of Shadow of the Ninja. So this is one I've wanted for a while, and you usually see it for like 50 bucks, or I've seen it up to 50 bucks. I think it's gone down to like 40 or 45 now. Anyway, I got it for a decent price. I got it for like 30, I think. I think I got it for 30 because the conditions, you can see like the top label isn't fully there, and neither is the front label, but it's mostly just like the finish. But yeah, this is a fun action platformer, ninja stuff. You get to like jump up and shimmy across, holding on to areas. It's kind of like, well, I guess it's kind of like Ninja Gaiden, but it has its own flair and its own feel to it. It's a pretty good game if you have an opportunity to try it. Again, Shadow of the Ninja. Next we have G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. This is a neat run and gun. You pick 3 different, well, I think you pick 2 different. Yeah, you have the main guy. I'm sorry, I wasn't a big G.I. Joe fan, so pardon me if, for my ignorance. But you have the main guy, and then you have your choice between like 4 or 5 other guys, and you can have a party of 3 that you can flip back and forth between, as you play at your will. And they have different shots and stuff like that. But it's pretty fun from what I've played of it. It's they're like the first level you're in the jungle, second level you're in like a warehouse placing detonators. It's kind of neat. Check it out. G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. I heard the sequel to this, The Atlantis Factor, is not as good, but I have no basis for comparison because this is the only one I have. Okay, one more NES thing. I got a Game Genie. I didn't need the Game Genie. I actually didn't even. Yeah, I didn't need the Game Genie. However, I did need the book. So this I got from my buddy Owazrim on. He streams on Twitch. He streams a lot of Master System stuff, which we'll get into that. But check him out. He's a super nice guy and a good streamer. And I'll put his link to his stream in the description. But he had the book, and I was like, you know, how much just for the book? Because there was a flea market that happened, and this is where a lot of the vending went down. And he rented a table, and I sold some stuff there as well. But yeah, he was like, yeah, just give me $5 for the book and the cart. And I'm like, yeah, I can do that, because, I mean, like, the edges are kind of, like, there's a lot of bending there, or bending, folded stuff there. So I'm going to have to go through each page and undo it, but that's okay, because it's really neat to have the book in pretty much complete condition. And even, like, look, I love stuff like this you find in manuals and stuff. Yeah, some codes here. Handwritten codes for Metal Gear. That's why whenever I get manuals for games, well, pro tip, always check the notes section in the back, because sometimes people will put notes in there, and it's kind of neat to see what the previous owners, you know, jotted down. So that's it for the NES stuff that I picked up. Next big chunk. Excuse me, I'm going to take a sip of water here. Next big chunk is I got all these from my buddy Owazrim, as previously mentioned. Again, he's a huge Sega Master System fan. He collects it like I collect for Nintendo. And I like the console too, and I've been trying to build up my collection a little bit. And yeah, so I got quite a few Master System games from him. So let's get into that. You have Zillion 2 Triformation. Now this one is, you know, a sequel to Zillion, obviously. But so Zillion is an action platformer, and it also has bike segments. But the main point of the game is like going around. It's kind of like Rolling Thunder, where you're going around shooting guys, and similar to the G.I. Joe game, you're planting detonators or messing with control boxes, stuff like that. But for the sequel, they decided to go a different route and just have it be the motorcycle stages, which wouldn't be so terrible if the controls weren't switched, which from what I understand, from what I've been told, they're switched in the first one as well. But yeah, it's like, it's instead of, you know, like B and A being shoot and jump, and I know it's not B and A, I think it's just 1 and 2, it's reversed. You know, jump is B or 1, and shoot is A or 2, and it's like stuff starts going fast, and I get confused, because like everybody else in the world, I'm used to the exact opposite. But that one's cool, and it's actually got a name on the back. It says B Barong. I'm not really sure. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's like B Barong, B Barong. I don't know. Anyway, Zillion 2. Then there's Vigilante. This is actually the sequel to Kung Fu, if you're familiar with Kung Fu on the NES. It's better graphics, but pretty much the same concept. I think your girlfriend gets stolen, or kidnapped, rather, and you have to go through different levels to get her back, and it's like punch, kick, jump, whatever. And yeah, like I said, better visuals, better music probably, but it's pretty much the same concept. Just go through, beat a bunch of guys up, and save your girlfriend. So, Alien Syndrome. I actually like this game a lot, but I feel like the NES version is better. But either way, it's a top-down perspective. You're going through various space stations. Each space station is, you have X amount of survivors you need to rescue before going to the exit, while killing aliens that have infiltrated and infested your space station or planet. Then you fight a boss, and then you go to the next area. It's pretty fun. You get different items or different weapons. There's like a laser, there's a flamethrower. There's maps spread out so you can check the map and see where the survivors are and how many more you're missing before you can exit. It's a pretty good game. Either version is good, but like I said, the NES version by Tengen, much better. I enjoyed it a lot more. We got Shoplifter. So this one, you're in a helicopter and you're going around rescuing people. Trying not to get shot down, trying not to squish people, You can land on the ground and pick people up. You have to wait. They'll kind of walk over, and then stuff will start shooting at you, so you have to take off and avoid it and come back and pick up the rest of them and take them back to the base. But you can land on them by mistake if you land at the wrong angle and you land on the survivors or the escapees or whatever. You just smush them. Just squish. So, yeah, it's like you destroy hangars and holding cell areas, and people come out and you pick them up and you take them back to base. Pretty cool concept. I've never played the arcade version, but this one's okay. I'm not very good at it, but I've only played it like once or twice. So, you know, Shoplifter. Here's Space Harrier. I have the 32X version of this, which is fantastic, so coming, you know, down to this one from when it's almost arcade perfect, it's a little underwhelming, but it's, what do you expect, you know, it's a couple generations earlier. But yeah, Space Harrier, it's a third-person perspective. You're flying around, shooting a bunch of stuff, coming at you really fast. Again, it's on an 8-bit console, so it does suffer from being on an 8-bit console, so it's kind of choppy. The animations aren't great, but they did decently for what it is and, you know, what they had to work with. Still a fun game, but again, the 32X version it's a no-brainer. It's almost arcade perfect. It's going to be the better one. Ghostbusters. Who are you going to call? This one, I actually don't have the NES version of this one. You know, Ghostbusters. Go around town. Going around town over here, picking up ghosts and stuff, buying equipment so you can drive faster, you know, suck out more ghosts, things like that. And you basically just, you know, it plays out like the movie. You collect enough ghosts and enough money, and Stay Puft will show up, and you gotta get past him and into the building and up to the top, and, you know, Ghostbusters. Alright, these two I was really excited about, because the rest of these I got from him after the swap meet was over, and I was like, alright, you want to make a deal? You know, we're all packing up and whatnot, so, you know, he gave me the bro price, which I appreciate it, man. Thank you, Boaz. But these two specifically I was having him hold. Similarly, I was having him hold G.I. Joe as well. But these two Master System games, first you got Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse, and check this out, they're cart only, but he printed out like the whole game box in paper to make this little paper box for it. How cool is that? Freaking Castle of Illusion. It's not like the Genesis one, but it's a similar story. You know, you have to go through different areas. You know, the Wicked Witch character has taken many, and you have to go through the different areas with different themes. It's similar, like I said, but it's also quite different. In this one, you could pick up blocks and things like that. You could pick things up and throw them, and that's a main mechanic. In the other one, you can't. You just throw apples or beads, depending on the theme of the stage. But this is a fun one that I've wanted for a little while, and I got it for. I can't stop looking at this case. It's just so neat, right? I mean, it's like I'm a giant holding a Sega Master System game, a regular-sized Sega Master System game. That's really cool. But yeah, that's a fun game. I hadn't beaten it yet, but I fully intend to. So. And then the other one was Golvelius, Valley of Doom. Similarly, same awesome little printout thing there. But yeah, so this one's really neat. I've wanted this one for a while. It plays like Zelda with a top-down perspective for an overworld. And then you go down in dungeons that play out like a side-scrolling, kind of like Zelda 2. But in addition to even that, you have boss fights that will be, again, on a top-down perspective, but sometimes it'll be you're going through a hallway and it's actually scrolling and you're having to walk back and forth as you're like shooting or attacking whatever you're chasing while avoiding other stuff. It's really neat. And I don't know, I've had this fascination with this game since I heard about it, but you know, it's like I don't want to watch playthroughs or anything like that and have it completely, you know, be spoiled for me. But either way, I digress. It's a fun game. It's a really neat one for the Master System if you're looking for something RPG-ish but still having an action factor. Golvelius. So it's not a bad way to go. That's almost everything, but I do have two little odds and ends here for other systems that I managed to get. I got a copy of Superman for the Atari 2600. I have Spider-Man, so it's like I should have Superman, and this one's in a really good condition. You know, like the side label's fully on there. I mean, it's got that crease in the middle there that you see sometimes, but you know, it's on there good, no peeling. Same thing with the front label. You know, it's a good condition cartridge. So yeah, Superman, just fly around, stopping bad guys. Not really much to this game though. It's mostly flying around. Speaking of flying around, the last one I'm going to talk about is I got a copy of Soul Feast for the Sega CD. Now, this is a pretty basic space shooter. I guess it's the best thing I can say about it is it's kind of basic. It seems fun. Seems average, moderate difficulty level. It's a side-scrolling, lots of pew pew in space, explosions which don't make any sense. But yeah, it's I'm probably going to put some more time into that one at some point, because I do like my shooters. You guys know that. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, these are the pickups I got at Southern Fried Gaming Expo in Atlanta, Georgia. It was a fun time. I may go again next year. We'll see. You know, I haven't really been going to a lot of conventions lately, but it was a chance to get away and hang out with some homeboys. So, yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned in the next week or so, and I'll have a new review out, so be looking forward to that. I know I'm dating this episode, but whatever. But again, thanks for watching, guys. I'm D-Pad Danny. Have a great night, and I'll see you next time.